Sinner tops Alcaraz at the 6 Kings Slam to earn a $6 million prize. Each of the 6 players guaranteed $1.5 million just to participate. Fun fact, that $6 million is nearly half of Sinner's entire court earnings year to date.
Jeez, is this new? Have the Saudis have they been overpaying for athletes?
I was going to say, it's almost like they have discretionary funds to spend on sports that are out of whack with the market.
Weird.
I don't know where to start on this one. This is also, never mind the prize money. This is basically, Sinner just got double for playing 3 days, 6 sets of exhibition tennis on the other side of the world. He got twice as much for that as he did for winning 21 sets in the U.S. Open. I'm happy anytime players are, as a rule of thumb, the more talent benefits, the better. But the other thing too, just doing the back of the envelope math, are we now? Am I wrong on this, or is more money being spent on this 3-day silly exhibition than is being spent on the women's flagship year-end event?
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, that was 60-minute shit right there.
How do we feel about these 6? How do we feel about 6 Kings?
It definitely doesn't make me sick to my stomach that he made more than 25% of my career prize money in 3 days of exhibition tennis. That's great. No, in all seriousness, I never begrudge anyone their choices. Listen, someone's going to pay you that amount of money, and you have to go do awkward dancing, and the whole thing looked completely like unnatural. Like it just looked weird. I had no interest in it. Even the Novak and Rafa of things, I don't know. It didn't feel. It felt fine. It felt like an exhibition, but without like the charm of a Laver Cup, where you're seeing the interactions between players and the legends get brought back. And for better or worse, we're gonna see more of these types of things. These exos, outsized budgets. It's easier to pay Sinner, $6 million when you're not responsible for 122 other players, at a given event, plus doubles, plus, X, Y, and Z. It's one court. It's not a million courts. There's no expenses. And it's a marketing budget for a government. So, it great. I think it's great for them. Fantastic. Take your money. I'm not going to, I don't think we're going to get our high horse. The women are going there. Your question is like endlessly interesting to me, John. I don't know the answer for it. Maybe you do. But did they spend more on this than they will on WTA Tour finals? And is that because the WTA Tour has to regulate how much prize money is? I don't know any of those questions. If only we knew a journalist, producer Mike.
Yeah. You just said something quick. I want to dwell on something you said, because I think it's a really good point. Even the awkward dancing, right? What that said to me is this is part of something bigger. This is a branding exercise for a country. And opinions are all over the place on sports washing and taking money and building bridges versus having a bit more of a moral stance. I mean, that's fine. But what I think people need to pause a bit on is, people say, oh, well, the U.S. isn't perfect either. And what about Iraq? It's not a national exercise, right? I mean, say what you will about, pick your event on the calendar, right? I mean, say what you will about the U.S. Open. Players are not there as guests of the government. They are not singing the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, it's a tennis tournament, right? It's not a national exercise. The funding isn't coming from the federal government. The one thing about this, you really have a sense that this is not so much about sports and selling sponsorships and tickets. This is really about a branding exercise for a country. And look, I mean, again, if we've said this before, if sports are a way to westernize and modernize and become more progressive, let's give that a chance. But I do think we need to differentiate between, hey, no country is perfect, and the fact that this sporting event in particular, and a lot of them, are clearly government exercises in a way that, say whatever you will about, I'm thinking, you can play the Rome event in May. It's not like the Italian government is the driving force behind it. So, I don't know. I mean, you don't,
and frankly speaking, at Rome, at the Grand Slams, you don't get a fee for service. You get a fee for winning, right? Like, I mean, we talked about Daniil Medvedev, and he's the best because he's always the first one to say it, so you can't say anything else. But you had 1.5 to show and was off the court in an hour. I did it in Abu Dhabi, not for that number, but a long time ago. I got beaten 46 minutes first round, not because I didn't try, just because I wasn't really that good, and it was the first match of the year. I went to the tournament organizer and said, "Hey, I'll play another match for free," and they're like, "No, we're good. We've gotten what we need out of you." And it was the press, it was the showing up, it was the pictures. It was very little to do with the actual product on court that given week. That is a very big differentiating factor from the rest of the tennis that we like, that has consequence. Past, am I, 3 million rich or am I 6 million rich? That's the consequence for this week, which for them, it matters, but it's not the type of consequence that I really care about watching. That doesn't get me going as a fan, as someone who breaks down the tennis. I thought the tennis was all very secondary to the pageantry, and that's probably intentional. That's by design. So, good for them. Sinner, you must just be eating all of the finest meats and cheeses now. 6 million. It's a good couple days work. Good couple days work. What else you got, Mike?
That's it. It's the end of our headlines.
That's it?
Yeah, you have a busy schedule. You got stuff coming up.
I'm a table reader.
Big Hollywood star.
On the other side of the break, we've been joking this entire episode. We're going to stop joking because something very serious has happened to a lot of people. The Hurricanes first through North Carolina and a couple in Florida. Friend of tennis, Gigi Fernández, has lost pretty much everything in that. And she is not coming on to inform us that she is having issues. She's coming on to say, hey, this is what happened to me. And this is what I think we can all do to help people who aren't as fortunate and lucky as I am. I don't need to file an insurance claim to get furniture, which is something she mentioned, which is a great way to put it. Gigi Fernández will be on the other side. Thank you for listening to Served. All right, everyone, welcome back to Served. We have a friend of mine, 17-time Grand Slam doubles champion, Gigi Fernández. And normally, if we would have Gigi on, it would be a cause for celebration and happiness and all of those other things. But we all know the devastation that the Hurricanes have caused, first North Carolina and twice in Florida. Gigi was or is one of the unfortunate people who had severe damage to her home. Sent me an email, it's probably 4 or 5 days ago, just saying, hey, we're going to try to do some good stuff with the recovery and people who need it. Can I come on and talk about it? And I said, absolutely. So let's please welcome in Gigi Fernández. I don't know how to ask this, but how are you? I know that you pretty much lost your house, but we're all pulling for you. What's the latest and what's the update?
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's still good days and bad days. We flooded with Helen and we're not able to save anything because it came really suddenly and unexpected. So lost both cars and pretty much anything that touched the ground of a 1-story house. So pretty much everything we own, just about. Then we had to deal with Milton right on the heels of that. So at that point, we try to save whatever else was left in the house. So I have all my belongings in like a 5x8 pod and a 5x8 container. That's pretty much everything that we saved. And through all this like devastation, I have a lot of fans that follow me, and a lot of offers to help. People wanting to send me money or send me whatever help they could give me. And I don't need that kind of help. I'm very lucky. I'm one of the lucky people in this devastation that I can, have a house to stay. I can afford to, start buying furniture and not wait for the insurance to clear. I can afford to go buy 2 cars to replace the 2 cars that were totaled before the insurance checks come in. But there's so many people that needed help. And I was talking to Lindsay Davenport, who didn't lose her house, but also had a very tragic or traumatic experience during the second hurricane where she lost contact with her husband for a while. And she, as you can imagine, was panicked about that. So we decided that we wanted to do something to help. And, and when I was at the US Open a month ago, I woke up one morning and I said, I need to re-up my charity. I need to do more to give back to tennis. And this name, Tennis for Hope, came to me in September, and didn't know why that name came to me. And now here, one month later, and people do it. People ever need hope. And so what I decided to do was take, all the people who want to give me money, is take their money, but not for me, but for other people. So we're going to start a grant application process where people within the tennis community that need help. And it could be anything from, my courts lost all their nets to, my house flooded and I need help. And then we'll just accept grants, or review the grants and siphon the money out to whoever we think needs it most. So in the baby stages, we're just incorporating and trying to get our 501c3 status, but $35,000 raised already. So we're trying to get to 100. So hopefully we'll reach that goal.
Well, listen, our hearts go out to you and yours and everyone else who have been affected by these terrible storms. As promised to you as a friend, our audience is now your audience. So if someone is sitting at their phone or in front of their computer, how can they take action for you right now?
Yeah, so if you go to gigifernandeztennis.com, there's a Tennis for Hope link, or if you go to tennisforhope.org, it might be redirecting, but our website's probably not up yet. So one of those two will get you to a pledge page, and you can just pledge an amount. And once we have a 501c3 status confirmed, which will be in about another month or two, then we'll reach back out. We're going to start taking grant applications in the next 30 days. So if you have, if you can donate money, that's probably we could do right now. And any amount helps us, when you're trying to raise money.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, fans of our podcast, all four of you, we know that we can rely on you. Listen, that's right. The culture of tennis has always been good. I think we've always shown up for each other. I applaud you, Gigi, for first thinking of others when you are going through your own issues right now. We love you. We're here for you. If there's anything we can ever do, please let us know. We will put the multiple websites in the show notes, gigifernandez.com, and there will be a donate link. Otherwise, try tennisforhope.org. Hopefully one of those will work. We'll have Techie Sean get on it and see which one's working by the time we release. But please, Gigi's doing great things. Lindsay Davenport, friend of hers, friend of the show. I actually am pretty sure she called me a little bitch on this show one time. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's in the public record.
Yeah. So if for nothing else, if you don't have empathy for storm victims, at least donate because Lindsay called me a bitch one time. Like I think that's worthy of a donation also, isn't it?
I mean, I might donate because of it.
I will donate because of it. That may or may not be true, but it's a good story. Gigi, we love you. Never hesitate to come on, and hopefully we can get you on one time when it's not a stressful time situation and really kind of
talk about something fun.
Exactly. Back to tennis. But we will leave these links in the show notes. Gigi, you're always welcome. Thank you and good luck. I hope everything gets better for you.
Thank you, Andy.
All right, cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye.